Welcome to Michelle's Making. Are you ready for coffee, crafts, cooking, and cocktails? Let's get going. Welcome and welcome back to those of you who are returning. I really do appreciate it. Thank you to my subscribers who have been watching faithfully. I really do appreciate that. Cheese curd day. Oh, yummy. Cheese curds are yummy. National Grouch Day. Well, let's not be grouchy, right? Shawarma Day. That reminds me of the Avengers movie and the scene where they were all eating shawarma at the end of the movie. White cane safety. Let's build awareness for the vision impaired. Mammogram. Well, you know what? It is October. That's Breast Cancer Awareness Month, and also a great time to get your mammogram if you haven't already. Let's get going. I've already enjoyed coffee today. I had French vanilla and pumpkin spice. I've had 2 cups already, so I'm definitely ready to go. Let's make it a great one and get going. The first thing we're going to make today are bacon wrapped sausages. This is a great dish to make when you need to take something to a party or just for family at home. You'll use a pack of the little mini wieners sausages, any flavor, any kind, style, whatever is fine, just the little mini ones, and a pound of bacon. It works out just perfectly for a pound of bacon in this when you cut the bacon in 3 pieces. And I use the thick style bacon. But you begin by wrapping your sausages and place them on a cookie sheet. Now make sure and line your cookie sheet with aluminum foil. It'll make the cleanup so much easier. You don't need to use a toothpick to keep these together. Don't worry about it because the bacon stretches as you wrap it around, so you get to go around a couple of times and just place it with the loose end down underneath, and they don't come unwrapped while they're cooking. The glaze for this is very simple. It's just brown sugar and barbecue sauce, about a 1/2 cup or 2/3 of a cup of brown sugar and about a 1/3 of a cup of barbecue sauce, and add just a little bit of hot water and stir it up real good, and it kind of melts the sugar a little bit. It'll be just fine. You just enough water so it'll drizzle along the top of the sausages. Just drizzle along the top of all the sausages, and then you're going to bake in an oven that's been preheated to 425. Takes about maybe 20 minutes or so. Just keep an eye on them, and when they look all crispy and caramelized like this, you've got your bacon wrapped sausages. The next thing I'm working on is a piece of laundry room decor, a very simple craft made using a pizza pan from Dollar Tree. I start by giving the pan a couple of coats of my Rust-Oleum chalk paint in linen white. Of course, I do use my handy dandy heat gun to dry between coats. When you're going to give something a couple of coats, I find the coverage is best when you go in opposite directions with each coat. Next, using my antique wax, I gave a light dry brushing, and remember, with dry brushing techniques you can go as heavy or as light as you like, whatever pleases you. Let me know in the comments, do you prefer a heavy distressing or a light distressing? Next, I gave a coat of Mod Podge. I have a decal that I had made from Cricut. It came out of Cricut Design Space, so the design was not my own. But when I'm applying this to a painted surface, I do find it's best to give a coat of Mod Podge first. sometimes the transfer tape can pull up a little bit of the paint. So that's why I prefer to use the Mod Podge first. Transfer tape is only 6 inches wide, and this design was a little wider, so I had to use 2 strips of the transfer tape. But remember, with removing decals, it's easiest to go kind of back and forth, and if it starts to pull up, just push your transfer tape back down, rub some more, and then try again. Once I have the decal on, I give another coat of Mod Podge just to seal it. And I find this does work best even when you're using a permanent vinyl. It can still lift up sometimes. And the Mod Podge just seals it all. I used Command Velcro strips to hang it to my wall. I had marked a little dot with my marker to know where the center of the pan was, so I'd get it to hang straight on the wall. But there you have it, my laundry room decor piece. My next craft is a grateful gnome. I absolutely love how this turned out, and I used things I already had in my stash. A bottle that had kind of a strange genie in the bottle type shape to it, some twine, and an old, I think it's called a boot cuff. I'm not sure exactly, but you know, I live in Florida, so I don't have much occasion to wear my boots. But I started out by cutting strips of my twine and was going to fold them in half and glue them to the bottle, as you see here. Started gluing these onto the bottle, and then I realized that you may be able to see between the strands a little bit, so I should have painted the bottom. So I went ahead and did that. I just tied up the twine that I already had glued on there and painted around the bottom of the bottle in brown. I just used a brown acrylic paint. And of course, speeding up that drying process. And I continued gluing the twine all around the bottle. Once that was done, I trimmed off the twine so the bottle would lay flat, and so would the twine. Next, I was trying out how I wanted the boot cuff to fit, and this was actually going to work perfect. The color was perfect, and it had a little scalloped edge where it was going to fit right over the nose. For the nose, I actually had picked up a pack of little bouncy balls. It was a pack of 4 at a yard sale for 25 cents. I cut off a little on the rounded bottom just to help it lay a little bit flatter into the glass when I was gluing it. But before I glued it on, I gave it a coat of paint, flesh tone, and I actually made this paint color mixing ballet slipper and cashew in the chalk paints. But it was perfect. I feel like it looks just like a flesh tone. And using my heat gun to dry it between coats, it did require 2 coats. Once it was dry, I glued it in place. Next, I applied the hot glue around the nose to hold his hat in place. I flipped up the hat and applied glue, so it would be snugly fit all the way around. Used a piece of twine to tie at the top, and I tied it right where the knitting design changed from a cuff into the other open knit. Next, I wanted to add some embellishment to his hat, so I pulled out all my autumn Thanksgiving type little embellishments and played around with it. I decided to add the grateful tag to the top of his hat. I had picked up those tags at Hobby Lobby. They came in a pack of 3. And all these little wooden leaves and paper leaves and all, I believe I had picked those all up at Hobby Lobby too. The sunflowers, I think I may have got at Dollar Tree. I can't remember really. They were all things in my stash. But I tied the tag to the top of his hat, and then I played around with the leaves because I wasn't quite sure what I was going to use. I decided to use these 3 tiny little wooden leaves and a leather button that I had found in my button stash. I just love my little grateful gnome. Well, it's time for that adult beverage now, and today I'm going to enjoy a watermelon lime cocktail. For this, I used a lime vodka, 99 proof watermelon, and some Jose Cuervo ready to drink margarita mix. Putting everything in the shaker while my glass is chilling. I shake, shake, shake everything up. Don't worry, the full recipe will be in the description box. And the only thing left is to enjoy my watermelon lime cocktail. Well, folks, that's it for another week. Thank you so much for sticking with me. I do appreciate it. Don't forget to take time to stop and smell the coffee. Make it a great week, and I'll see you next Friday.